Deep in the freezing vacuum of space, an alien armada stretched across the stars, ready to erase an entire world. Then, without warning, a streak of black and white tore through the fleet. Warships exploded, weapons fell silent, and within minutes the invasion was over. The surviving aliens could only watch in awe as the mysterious warrior floated through the wreckage. To them, he wasn't just a hero, he was a legend. But the man they praised didn't feel legendary. He felt tired. When they asked where he came from, he quietly looked toward a distant blue planet. Earth, he said, a world I haven't seen in almost a year. Returning home brought no celebration. Instead, Superman stood before Jonathan Kent's grave. As he noticed the gray beginning to appear in his hair, a painful thought crossed his mind. After everything that had changed, did the world still need Superman? While Clark struggled with that question, another man was fighting his own battle. Marco Macarro was a career criminal locked inside Hobbs Bay prison. He wasn't innocent, but he desperately wanted to become a better man for his daughter, Mina. He volunteered for every difficult job, hoping to earn an early release and rebuild his family. Then his wife shattered that dream. The visits have to stop, she told him. Mina needs to move on, and so do I. In that moment, every reason Marco had to keep trying disappeared. During a cleanup assignment inside an abandoned Lex Labs facility, a brutal prison guard pushed Marco beyond his limit. A struggle broke out, smashing open a hidden experimental chamber. Glowing chemicals poured over Marco's body. He collapsed in agony as his bones twisted, his muscles expanded, and his skin transformed into living stone. When the pain finally ended, Marco Macarro was gone. In his place stood Armorgeddon, a towering monster fueled by rage and driven by one desperate goal: to see his daughter again. As Armorgeddon rampaged through Metropolis, Superman arrived to stop him. Instead of attacking, he tried to reason with the monster, but Armorgeddon only laughed. "Justice," he growled. "I never had justice." Then he landed a devastating punch. Superman instantly realized something was wrong. Hidden inside the chemicals were traces of Kryptonite, making every blow far more painful than it should have been. His age, exhaustion, and growing weakness suddenly caught up with him. Then Superman looked down and saw an apartment building directly in Armorgeddon's path. Hundreds of innocent people were in danger. Ignoring the pain, Superman grabbed the monster, smiled, and said, "Hang on to your lunch, we're going up." The two rocketed high above the clouds until the city disappeared beneath them. Suddenly, Armorgeddon drove a massive stone spike straight through Superman's chest. Both of them began falling thousands of feet toward the ground. Believing he had finally defeated the Man of Steel, Armorgeddon prepared for the impact. Even while bleeding and barely conscious, Superman refused to abandon his principles. At the last second, he twisted their bodies in midair, placing himself underneath and absorbing the entire impact to save the man trying to kill him. Armorgeddon walked away almost unharmed, while Superman lay broken inside the crater. Confused by the hero's sacrifice, Marco fled to his daughter's home. Climbing through her bedroom window, he forced a gentle smile. "Hi, baby. It's me, your big bear." But Mina didn't see her father. She only saw a terrifying monster. As the wounded Superman appeared outside the window, the frightened little girl pointed at him and cried, "Superman, save me from the monster!" Those words hit Marco harder than any punch. Looking at his massive stone hands and then into his daughter's terrified eyes, he finally understood what he had become. The rage disappeared. Overcome with guilt, he dropped to his knees and peacefully surrendered. A few days later, Clark Kent stood beside Lois Lane's grave. Bruce Wayne stepped out of the shadows and asked if he was finally returning to work. Clark looked across the futuristic skyline of Metropolis and smiled. The world had changed, but people still needed hope. "Jimmy Olsen offered me a job," Clark said. "I think I can do both." Because being Superman was never just a job, it was a promise. And no matter how much the future changes, that promise will always endure.